welcome back to the channel Cap Social Network. So in today's video, I wanted to ask this question, which has been lingering on my mind for quite some time. Will black women make better choices if there were more upstanding black men? And I say that because there are very few black American men that are lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects. However, there are several that are incarcerated. In fact, us black males make up the biggest incarceration rate, the biggest prison population all over the US, which I find strange. But that we look at that as a badge of honor, us black men. We also look at that as being a real N-word, as being cool. And whether you know it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but we get not only praise upon people in our community, whether it may be fellow family members, some of our homeboys, our baby mamas, for a lot of us that have baby mamas as having a criminal record. With that being said, I was talking to a white guy a while back who I used to work with, back when I was working for Whole Foods Market. And I don't know, I can't quite recall what led up to this conversation, but I do recall him saying how comparing the white race, anytime you may have a criminal record or may have done some prison time as a white person compared to a black person's, he said one of the main differences is, and this is once again folks coming from a white guy, anytime you're black and may have done some prison time, you get looked at as a hero. But anytime you're white and may have had a criminal record or a prison record, people look down on you in your own race, which is one of the main reasons why our community is so backwards. And it also is one of the main reasons why black American women keep on settling for no good men and keep on, in the worst case scenario, having kids by no good men, lead the nation in the number of most infected women out of all other groups of women with STDs. Also, it's one of the main reasons, in my personal honest opinion, why there are so many black men who just don't have the motivation to want to do better in life, to want to be something of high value, such as either a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, architect. I could go on and on. With that being said, I know I could go during the daytime to downtown Birmingham, Alabama, and I see all these white guys dressed professionally and looking like they're about to conduct business. Some that happen to be corporate executives, some that may happen to be bankers, lawyers, just all kinds of prominent white men I see dressed formally. But when I look at the average brother, while I may drive through downtown Birmingham, it never fails. That brother always has to have, in most cases, either a cigarette that he's smoking on or a black and mild hanging from his mouth with his jeans sagging. This guy, this brother, this black dude could be 40 years old or older, but still trying to wear urban wear. Most of them look like they have no kind of motivation at all. Still try to do all they can to fit the look of a criminal, of a hoodlum. Still wear J's. Some that I can see 40 years old and older. These are the same types of black men that may have done some prison time, and look at that as equivalent as being a professional black man, a much more high value black man. But I don't care what anybody say, it's not the same having a criminal record as a black man. And with that being said, I also wanted to show you, ladies and gentlemen, how we are so far behind when it comes to high-paying and prominent professions by the likes of being engineers, doctors, lawyers. On that note, bear with me as I show you the statistics and the data. Now, this is based upon newsroom.ucla.edu. And it says, in 1940, by the way, this is what I highlighted that's in blue. In 1940, when 9.7% of the total population was black, 2.8% of physicians were black, 2.7% were black men, and 0.1% were black women. The key words, because I understand reading about there being only 0.1% of black women as physicians, but I'm focusing primarily, ladies and gentlemen, on the number of black men, which was 2.7%. Now pay close attention to this, ladies and gentlemen, which was not that long ago. 2018 was roughly 5.5 to 6 years ago. By 2018, when 12.8% of the total population was black, 5.4% of U.S. physicians were black, 2.6% black men. Although the percentage of black women physicians has increased 2.7 percentage points between 1940 and 2018, the proportion of black physicians who are black men during the same period has remained essentially unchanged. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I blame a big part of it on behalf of black women. As a matter of fact, there are several black women that would rather pass up a brother that's part of these kind of professions, some of the highest paying professions in the U.S., other than being either an athlete or a singer, if not that, usually an actor. But as far as these types of occupations, being doctors, the average black female will look at the average brother, average black man in these kind of fields or this kind of field as being a cornball, a lame, whereas these same black American women, if they had picked, what's so crazy about it and at the same time ironic about it is these same black women who say they don't want a brother that's working in these fields due to them not having enough swag will go and pick the guy that's another race working in the same field without it being a problem at all. It's like when it all comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, our women, for some weird and strange reason, like to typecast all black men as mostly no good, deadbeat dads, if not that usually criminals, if not that usually baby daddies, womanizers, players, ladies, men, however you like to classify them as. If not that, usually drug dealers, usually abusers, women abusers. They can't just typecast us as something positive due because of their choices in men, how they pick, in other words, some of the most toxic and dysfunctional men they can find, and on purpose, due to how the majority of women, I'm talking about black women as old as 40, 50 years old, who still don't want them a nerdy black dude, so to speak. Instead, still have to have that brother that's all swagged out with the excessive tattoos, with gold teeth in his mouth, a whole row of gold teeth in his mouth, that usually cusses on a regular basis, who usually is high. Every time you look at him, so high that he could barely open his eyes, so high off of weed or some other drug. Always is drunk all the time, always is belligerent and loud, carries himself like a straight up buffoon and bozo. That's why, in my personal opinion, why us black men lack in these type of professions. Types of professions. Let me also show you this as well and stop sharing this here window. This is pertaining to being in the engineering field. If you could bear with me once again. Let me close this out. Now, this right here is a chart of the different races of males that lead in the engineering field. Right here, us as African American males are the lowest demographic of engineers by 3.3%. Now, guess who leads in that field of engineers? White males, aka Caucasian males, at 67.9%. It also says the most common ethnicity among engineers is white, which makes up 67.9% of all engineers. Comparatively, 15.0% of engineers are Asian and 9.1% of engineers are Hispanic or Latino. So I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to show you this right here on behalf of the ratio of black lawyers compared to other groups of lawyers. And it says, according to the American Bar Association, about 5% of all lawyers are black. And that number has been stagnant over the past decade, even though about 14% of the U.S. population is black. There are also racial disparities in bar exam scores. And this is another reason why I would say it's way less black male lawyers due to black women and due to our insecurity as well as black American men. Because let me stop sharing this as well. We will go out of our ways, us brothers, to put forth an effort to be gang members at very young ages, instead of during our middle school and high school years, taking that time that we devote and dedicate and being gang members, drug dealers, either gang members, drug dealers, rappers, or athletes, and not that usually either a comedian or an actor. We don't think enough of how that's one of the main reasons why our race, as the black race, is so behind, due to lawyers, lack of black American lawyers, not being that big of a population of black American male lawyers, black American engineers, male engineers, black American male architects, nor black American physicians, male physicians or doctors. We, due to the simple fact that we also look at those kind of professions as quote unquote being white. I don't know what it is about us, the reason why we lack in these fields, but in a sense, I know why it is, because it comes from lack of motivation. And most of our parents in our families, from generation to generation, from our great grandparents to our grandparents to our actual parents, never instilled in us to be something better other than a hoodlum, other than an athlete, a movie star, a rapper. And to be honest, most of our family members before us, our generations from our great grandparents to our grandparents to our actual parents, worked jobs where they retired from working around a good 25 to 30 years, blue collar jobs. That's one of the main reasons why us as black men dominate working in industries such as the manufacturing industries, the warehouse industries, the production industries. Anything that's labor-based, we dominate those fields due to our lack of motivation, our insecurity. And you could say, when it all comes down to it, it's due to mental illness as well. Anyway, and that's a whole other story compared to well, for a whole different video. On that note, I wanted to show some clips of Black American females, and this is to elaborate more on how some Black American females don't want that upstanding, high value professional brother, how they will instead settle for a guy that's in the streets, a guy that's a straight up hood dude, a straight up criminal. You can also say, like the movie, a straight up menace to society. So without further ado,
that's appealing about the scammer. That's what I want to.
He dressed nice, got money, and we could go anywhere. Go to Roof Press.
You could go anywhere.
Capitol Grill.
Do a 9 to 5.
Oh, is he gonna be tight on the bread when I get paid in 2 weeks?
So once that dude get locked up,
exactly.
What is on to the next one?
You gonna stay with him?
I'm
hold him down?
I'm gonna take his money and then.
What money? The feds is taking that money when he go to jail.
Well, then he's a job.
So what are you gonna do though?
I'm gonna continue myself, be myself. Another scammer.
But you just say you helping, so you going to jail too.
Like, I didn't think this out. I didn't think this through.
On that note, folks, maybe if more Black men would start carrying themselves in much more of a refined, dignified, and upstanding manner, and dedicate their lifetime or their lives to becoming a guy of higher value, such as, once again, either a doctor, lawyer, engineer, architect, then just maybe there will be less Black women settling for some of the most bottom of the total pole brothers. This is just from my perspective and based upon both my personal and honest opinion. You could debate me in the comment section all you want to on this matter. I just feel like that's one of the main reasons when it all comes down to it. There are so many Black brothers that are insecure, that embrace being a gangster, embrace being a rapper, and embrace being a drug dealer. To be honest, both a gangster and a drug dealer go hand in hand, fall into the same category, because those men, a lot of those men of that caliber are the main ones that always get into a lot of trouble, that always run the streets on a regular basis, who always have to watch over their backs. And in most cases, when they're in long-term relationships with women, or even if they may not be in long-term relationships with women, but may happen to have kids by random women, those women in most cases usually have to watch over their backs for fooling with men of this caliber or that caliber as well. With that being said, I'm going to show one more clip pertaining to this topic, and it's based upon, well, let me just roll the clip.
Nuclear physicist for the Navy.
No.
So I do that in a few. I am 27. I look a little young. I'm not that young.
Yeah, you look young.
So where do you live?
So I'm actually in the Woodlands, Texas right now.
Nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
3 years ago, I got certified at pharmacy around when I was 17. I didn't really do anything with it. I went to university for a while. I was getting like a business degree. So I have a bachelor's in business. And then I did pharmacy for a little while, for about 3 years, and then got bored. So I was like, let's go see what the military has to offer. Didn't do anything. I did my PICAT about a year ago. Got a 96, it goes up to a 99, got a 96. They offered me nuclear physics, and I was like, why the fuck not? So I went there, and now I ship out in a few days.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, best of luck as you ship out pineapples.
Yeah. Why?
Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this. And I feel like I did that at first too. But however, I need a man with some personality.
You felt that quick? You know you didn't have personality?
Yes, I'm really good at reading people.
In other words, this same sister who rejected this brother is saying in a low-key way, at the same time in a direct way, how she would prefer a brother when babies scatter all over the place or by different women. A guy that's always high all the time, a guy that totes pistols, a guy, like I mentioned earlier, who always, a brother that is, a black brother specifically, that's always carrying pistols, always using lots of profanity, always high all the time to the extent where he could barely open his eyes, much less walk straight. A guy that's always loud, belligerent, who talks like he has a third grade, an educational level no higher than a third grade educational level. That was what she was insinuating. Also, a guy with a whole lot of tattoos, a guy that would be very abusive towards her, either physically, mentally, or verbally. To be honest, all three, which is the type of dudes the majority of other black women or a lot of other black women usually go for. Anyway, let me know what you guys think by commenting down below. Until next time, you guys have a good one.